Hello and good evening if you are joining me for the Hammer Horror Quiz Night. I'm your host, Lee Anthony Davis, recording live here from my YouTube channel, where tonight's feature is Dracula Prince of Darkness. But before we start, some of my members are celebrating their birthdays today. So I'd like to wish Beth Ravenwood, Bruce Trombley, Jamie Robson, Melvin Devine and James Robertson. So on behalf of myself, I'd like to wish you all a happy birthday. Right, moving on, it is time for the quiz. And the Hammer Horror Quiz features Dracula Prince of Darkness. Just to let you know, I will be giving the answers out when I repeat them again. So get your pen and paper handy and we'll start off right away. I thought I'd let you know today I'm going to give you a day off. Yes, there will be no musical interlude. I think it's enough that it's called the Hammer Horror Quiz without me trying to frighten you to death. So I don't want to bring cringe to this. So anyway, let's get on with it. Also, to add to the atmosphere, you can probably hear some wind in the background. Yes, it is very gusty out there at the moment. So, but it does add to the authenticity of the quiz, doesn't it? A bit of wind and thunder gives it that sort of there's something behind me feel. You know what I mean? So anyway, are you ready? So let's play the Hammer Horror Quiz featuring the Dracula, the Prince of Darkness. Okay then, question one. Let's get on with this. At the beginning, it shows a clip in the film with Peter Cushing as Van Helsing and Christopher Lee as Dracula. What Hammer film was that taken from? I repeat the question. At the beginning, it shows a clip with Peter Cushing as Van Helsing and Christopher Lee as Dracula. What film was that taken from? Was it A, The Horror of Dracula? Was it B, The Brides of Dracula? Or was it C, Dracula has risen from the grave? Question 2. Here's a nice easy one for you. What was the running time of the film? I repeat, what was the running time of the film? Was it A, 80 minutes, which equals 1 hour 20 minutes if you didn't know, if you weren't any good at maths that is, like me. Was it B, 90 minutes, which equals 1 hour and a half? Or was it C, 100 minutes, which equals 1 hour 40 minutes? Moving on to question 3. What was the release date of the film, both in the UK and the US? Was it A, the 9th and 12th of January 1966? Was it B, the 10th and 13th of February 1966? Or was it C, the 7th and 8th of March 1966? I'll read that one for you again. Question 3. What was the release date of the film, both in the UK and the US? Was it A, the 9th and 12th of January 1966? B, the 10th and 13th of February 1966? Or was it C, the 7th and 8th of March 1966? Question 4. Which two actresses not only appeared together in this film, but also appeared together in Hammer's other film, Rasputin? I'll repeat the question again. Which two actresses not only appeared together in this film, but also appeared together in Hammer's other horror film, Rasputin? Was it A, Jacqueline Pierce and Katie Wilde? Was it B, Veronica Carlson and Ingrid Pitt? Or was it C, Barbara Shelley and Susan Farmer? Right, moving on to question 5. Which actor played Father Sandor in the film? I repeat question 5. Which actor played Father Sandor in the film? Was it A, Philip Latham? Was it B, Charles Tingwell? Or was it C, Andrew Kerr? Question 6. Where were the travellers heading for? I repeat the question again to question 6. Where were the travellers heading for? Was it A, Karlstadt? Was it B, Carlsbad? Or was it C, Carlsberg? I'll let you ponder on that one. Question 7. What was the Christian name of the travellers? I repeat, what was the Christian name of the travellers? Was it A, Sorry? Was it B, Kent? Or was it C, Middlesex? Yes, you notice there's a bit of a cricket connection there of the counties. Question 8. When Father Sandor said to the travellers, Al Troppa Bella Donna, what did he actually mean? I repeat the question again. When Father Sandor said to the travellers, Al Troppa Belladonna, what did he mean? Was it A, peace be with you, my children? Was it B, deadly nightshade? Or was it C, I'm a bit short on the next round, can you lend me a fiver? Right, moving on to question 9. What was the reason that the traveller gave to going to that region? I repeat the question again. What was the reason that the travellers, sorry, I forgot to add the plural, and it wasn't singular, it's a plural, so I've got to add the S to travellers, so I'll repeat that question again. What was the reason that the travellers gave to going to that region? Was it A, camping and sightseeing? Was it B, sightseeing and climbing? Or was it C, sorry, I said C, didn't I? I'll repeat that again. Was it A, camping and sightseeing? Was it B, sightseeing and climbing? Or was it C, try out one of the local brothels? Right, moving on to question 10. What was the name of Dracula's servant? I repeat the question 10. What was the name of Dracula's servant? Was it A, Clom? Was it B, Clove? Or was it C, Clem? Right, we are halfway through the quiz, and how do you think you are doing so far? Do you feel you've got your teeth into this, or do you feel you have fallen onto a stake? Right, we'll move on to question 11. In the film, Barbara Shelley admitted she wasn't good at screaming, so the scream was dubbed over by which actress? I repeat that question again to question 11. In the film, Barbara Shelley admitted she wasn't good at screaming, so which actress actually filled in for her screaming? Because it was dubbed, obviously. Was it A, Yvonne Monlaw? Was it B, Kate O'Mara? Or was it C, Susan Farmer? Question 12. And this one's about Susan Farmer. Which famous actor was Susan Farmer married to? Question 12 again, I repeat. Which famous actor was Susan Farmer married to? Was it A, Michael Caine? Was it B, Peter Sellers? Or was it C, Ian McShane? Question 13. I'm looking for some depending on your point of view. What reason did Dracula's servant give to the travellers for his master not being there? I repeat the question 13 again. What reason did Dracula's servant give to the travellers for his master not being there? Was it A, he was on a day trip to Butlins? Was it B, he was dead? Or C, he was having a long nap? Right, moving on to question 14, sorry. This is a two-part question, which I love throwing in. Question 14A. Here we go. Who was the victim out of the travellers that was sacrificed to bring Dracula to life with his blood? I repeat the question again. Who was the victim out of the travellers that was sacrificed to bring Dracula to life with his blood? Was it A, Helen? Was it B, Alan? Or was it C, Charles? Right, here is the second part to that question 14. Which of the travellers became a vampire themselves? I repeat that again to question 14, the second part that is. Which of the travellers became a vampire themselves? Was it A, Diane? Was it B, Charles? Or was it C, Helen? Right, moving on to question 15. How many horses drove Dracula's carriage? I repeat, question 15. How many horses drove Dracula's carriage? Was it A, 6? Was it B, 4? Or was it C, 2? Question 16. What did Dracula fear the most? I repeat the question again. What did Dracula fear the most? Was it A, Graham Norton on television? Was it B, the crucifix? Or was it C, bad table manners? Right, question 17. When one of the travellers went down to Dracula's lair and opened the trunk, what did he discover? I do apologise, my mouth's a little bit dry, so I'll drink a bit of water and I'll repeat that question again to question 17. That's better. When one of the travellers went down to Dracula's lair and opened the trunk, what did he discover? Was it A, the Conservative Manifesto? B, a dissembled body? Or C, a Waddington's board games? Tricky one, eh? Right. Finally, we're coming down to the final stages of this quiz. Here we go, question 18. At the monastery, one of their residents called Ludwig had a fetish for what? I repeat again to question 18. At the monastery, one of their residents, Ludwig, had a fetish for what? Was it A, he was a cross-dresser? Was it B, he believed he was a vampire? Or was it C, he ate flies and insects? Right, moving on to question 19. What was the name of the actor who played Ludwig? I repeat the question 19 again. What was the name of the actor who played Ludwig? Was it A, Michael Ripper? Was it B, Francis Matthews? Or was it C, Foley Waters? And finally, as we plunge that stake into Dracula's heart, we finally reached question 20. Here goes, question 20. How was Dracula eventually defeated? I repeat again, how was Dracula eventually defeated? Was it A, he gets a stake through the heart while sleeping? Was it B, he finally sinks into the freezing waters and drowns? Or was it C, he is tricked into the sunlight and disintegrates? Right, how did you do there? Now comes the most important part, the questions with the answers. So, are you ready? Yes, I just thought I'd mention it. It's cringing off without me adding the musical interlude. So there'll be no musical interlude, so I hear relief from all of you. But tomorrow is another day. Right, okay then. Here we go. Are you ready? Let's play the questions with answers now. Question 1, remember, at the beginning, it shows a clip in the film Dracula Prince of Darkness with Peter Cushing as Van Helsing and Christopher Lee as Dracula as they're running up the stairs and down the hallway in the final scene. What Hammer film was that taken from? I'll repeat that question again. At the beginning of the film, it shows a clip with Peter Cushing as Van Helsing and Christopher Lee as Dracula. What was that actual film or film clip that it was taken from? Was it A, Horror of Dracula? Was it B, Brides of Dracula? Or was it C, Dracula has risen from the grave? The answer to this question, as you await with bated breath, yes, it's A, Horror of Dracula. Right, moving on to question 2. Here's a nice easy one, as I said before. What was the running time of the film? Was it A, 80 minutes? Was it B, 90 minutes? Or was it C, 100 minutes? The answer is obviously B, 90 minutes. 1 hour and 30 minutes. Question 3. What was the release date of the film, both in the UK and the US? Was it A, the 9th and 12th of January 1966? Was it B, the 10th and 13th of February 1966? Or was it C, the 7th and 8th of March 1966? The answer is A, it was the 9th and 12th of January 1966. Right, moving on to question 4. Which two actresses not only appeared together in this film, but also appeared together in Hammer's other horror film, Rasputin? Was it A, Jacqueline Pearce and Katie Wilde? Was it B, Veronica Carlson and Ingrid Pitt? Or was it C, Barbara Shelley and Susan Farmer? The answer is C, Barbara Shelley and Susan Farmer. Right, moving on to question 5. Which actor played Father Sandor in the film? Was it A, Philip Latham? Was it B, Charles Tingwell? Or was it C, Andrew Kerr? It was actually C, Andrew Kerr. Question 6. Where were the travellers heading for on their travels? Was it A, Karlstadt? Was it B, Carlsbad? Or was it C, Carlsberg? Yeah, I think you've sussed out which one's not part of the actual question there. Yes, the answer was B, Carlsbad. Obviously, Carlsberg is a lager, if you didn't know that. Right, question 7. What was the Christian name of the travellers? Now, I've put a cricket connection here, but one of them's the right answer. Is it A, Surrey? Is it B, Kent? Or is it C, Middlesex? Well, the answer is B, Kent. Right, moving on to a sort of Latin word for a flower, but here we go. Question 8. When Father Sandor said to the travellers, "Al troppa belladonna," what did he mean? And I'm going to repeat that again because it's a pretty hard one to understand. When Father Sandor said to the travellers, "Al troppa belladonna," what did he mean? Was it A, "Peace be with you, my children"? Was it B, "Deadly nightshade"? Or was it C, "I'm a bit short of the next round"? The answer is B, "Deadly nightshade," which is a poisonous flower that you have to that it's very rare I think you can get it in the tropics, but it's very dangerous. You actually saw it used in the Sensorites. It was a means to poison the water, if you remember that one. If you ever watched the episode, watch it. It's where a few survivors from a spacecraft come down and they hide in the caves or whatever, and they poison the water with deadly nightshade. So they start going down with something, and a lot of them die. I think you remember that one, but that's what deadly nightshade is. Poison ivy. It's all sorts. It's all the same sort of family. Right, moving on from that unimportant logical, uninteresting information. Moving on to question 9. What was the reason that the traveller gave? Shall I say, I forgot again to add the plural to this. You keep getting tripped up by this. What was the reason that the travellers gave to going to the region? Was it A, camping and sightseeing? Was it B, sightseeing and climbing? Or was it C, try out one of the local brothels? I don't think so somehow. But anyway, the answer is B, sightseeing and climbing. Right, we're coming to question 10. What was the name of Dracula's servant? Was it A, Clom? Was it B, Clove? Or was it C, Clem? The answer is B, Clove. Right, we're halfway through now, and basically, how are you doing so far? If you're doing alright, you're feeling fantastic. If you're feeling wrong, you're feeling bombastic. Never mind the jokes, let's move on. Question 11. In the film, Barbara Shelley admitted she wasn't good at screaming. So the scream was dubbed over by which actress? I repeat that one again, which is a true fact actually. In the film, Barbara Shelley admitted she wasn't good at screaming. So the scream was dubbed over by which actress? Was it A, Yvonne Monlaw? Was it B, Kate O'Mara? Or was it C, Susan Farmer? The answer is C, Susan Farmer. And talking about Susan Farmer, question 12, which famous actor was Susan Farmer married to? I repeat, question 12, which famous actor was Susan Farmer married to? Was it A, Michael Caine? Was it B, Peter Sellers? Or was it C, Ian McShane? The answer is Ian McShane. Yes, you know him very well. He used to be that lovable rogue antique dealer on BBC One years ago. That brilliant drama called Lovejoy. Fantastic programme. Anyway, never mind my memorabilia and going down memory lane. Let's get on with this. Question 13. Unlucky for some. What reason did Dracula's servant give to the travellers for his master not being there? Was it A, he was on a day trip to Butlins? Was it B, he was dead? Or was it C, he was having a long nap? Well, the answer is obviously B, he was dead. Right, moving on to question 14. Now, remember, this is a two-part question, so here we go. Here's the first part. Who was a victim out of the travellers that was sacrificed to bring Dracula to life with his blood? I repeat the question again. Who was the victim out of the travellers that was sacrificed to bring Dracula to life with his blood? Was it A, Helen? Was it B, Alan? Or was it C, Charles? The answer is B, Alan. Right, here's the second part of that question. Which of the travellers became a vampire themselves? I repeat, which of the travellers became a vampire themselves? Was it A, Diane? Was it B, Charles? Or was it C, Helen? The answer is C, Helen. Right, question 15. How many horses drove Dracula's carriage? I repeat again, how many horses drove Dracula's carriage? Was it A, 6? Was it B, 4? Or was it C, 2? The answer is 2. Right, question 16. What did Dracula fear the most? Was it A, Graham Norton on television? Was it B, the crucifix? Or was it C, bad table manners? Right, I could say something funny about Graham, but I'm not going to. So anyway, the answer is B, the crucifix. Right, question 17. When one of the travellers went down to Dracula's lair and opened the trunk, what did he discover? I repeat the question again. When one of the travellers went down to Dracula's lair and opened the trunk, what did he discover? Was it A, the Conservative Manifesto? Was it B, a dissembled body? Or was it C, Waddington's board games like Monopoly and Cluedo? I'm sure that would have been entertaining. Right, the answer obviously was B, a dissembled body. In fact, it was Alan's dissembled body. That's the brother who found it there and was used as a sacrifice to bring Dracula to life. So there you have it. Right, there you go, some unimportant information yet again. Probably playing for time to make this video a little bit longer, but it's not entertaining for you, but it is for me. Right, okay, question 18. At the monastery, one of their residents, Ludwig, had a fetish for what? At question 18 again. At the monastery, one of their residents, Ludwig, had a fetish for what? A, he was a cross-dresser. B, he believed he was a vampire. Or C, he ate flies and insects. The answer is C, he ate flies and insects because the food was atrocious. No, seriously. Yeah, it's something. If you saw the actual original film with Universal, they had Ludwig eating flies. He was under Dracula's control, played by Bela Lugosi. So yes, you can see the connection why they sort of Hammer tried to keep it as near as they could, but they did make some changes, I can assure you. For instance, the first change, the first big one, was the collar. There was no collar in the 1930s, but as you could see, that was one of the main changes. The collar revolution had arrived. But some people prefer it in black and white. Sometimes it looks better in black and white, you know. Anyway, moving on from that, and we are coming close to the finishing line. So here we go. Question 19. What was the name of the actor who played Ludwig? What was the name of the actor that played Ludwig? Was it A, Michael Ripper? Was it B, Francis Matthews? Or was it C, Fawley Waters? The answer is C, Fawley Waters. And finally, as we plunge that stake, yes, you guessed it, into my heart, we've reached question 20. And the final question is, how was Dracula eventually defeated? I repeat that question to question 20 again. How was Dracula eventually defeated? Was it A, he gets a stake through the heart while sleeping? Was it B, he finally sinks into the freezing waters and drowns? Or was it C, he is tricked into sunlight and disintegrates? The answer is B. He finally sinks into the freezing waters and drowns. Right, that is it from the quiz for tonight. How did you feel you did? Was it the feeling of fantastic or was it the feeling of catastrophic? Never mind. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. There will be another Hammer Horror quiz next Thursday, but I will be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. with a Doctor Who quiz featuring the Censorites. And as you know, I left out the musical interlude out tonight deliberately because I didn't want to bring any more cringe to this quiz, as it's the Hammer Horror Night quiz. But nevertheless, to all concerned, you must be warned. I will be back on song tomorrow. So anyway, you have notice. So all it leaves me is to say, until tomorrow night, stay safe, sleep tight. I'll see you tomorrow night. Bye for now.